guys. Hey, it's Mr. Lindy, and today we're going to talk about common denominators. Common denominators are very, very important when you are adding up a denominator or when you have a list of fractions and you do not know which one is bigger, putting them in order. So what happens is, what we do is we find a common denominator. This common denominator is real simple. Common, what we need to do is, might as well just call it the same. So what we're doing is we are trying to find the same denominator, or make every fraction have the number on the bottom be the same. If you remember from my past videos, there was something called Lindy's Law, which you will need to use. Lindy's Law. I don't know what the real version is called. I just call it that for something fun. Lindy's Law is whatever you do to the denominator, you have to do to the numerator. Now, real simple here is why that's important is because we have to multiply the numbers that we're going to compare. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch page here real quick, and I'm going to grab 1/2 and 1/3. Now, these numbers, you can look at them and you could probably tell me which one is bigger. But if you are really unsure, the best way to do it is to find a common denominator. First thing to do is look at the denominators. I can see that there's a 2 here and a 3 here. And I know that they're not the same, and my goal is to make them the same. So what I need to do is I need to make a list. A list of multiples. So we have a list of multiples of the 2 and the 3. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the multiples until they match. So let's see. Let's just do 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And we'll go 3, 6. Ooh, I got my match. I can tell you that 3 stops at 6 and 2 goes to 6. That means my common denominator right here equals 6. But I'm not finished, because that's only finding the common denominator. Now I have to change them. So what it happens is I need to change, I'm going to write it down here again, this 2 to a 6. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this 3 to a 6. Now what you got to ask yourself is, what did I multiply the 2 by to equal 6? And you guys know that that's 3. Now, a part where a lot of people mess up is they try to bring the 1 right here straight over, and that's a no-no. So what you need to do is you have to remember Lindy's Law, and that is whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do the top. So if you multiply the 2 by 3, that means that I have to multiply the 1 by 3 in the numerator, and now I have 3/6. Okay, now so that's my number right there. You notice that I changed a 2 into a 6. Now, let's go over to the 1/3. The 1/3, the 3 right here, to change to a 6, I know that I have to multiply by 2 to get that to equal 6. So whatever I do to the denominator, I have to do to the numerator. So 1 times 2 is 2, and now I have 2/6. And if I were to ask you guys which one was bigger, you can easily see right now, what's bigger, 3/6 or 2/6? You guys know that 3/6 is bigger. There you go. Or if you were to put them in order, you can say 2/6 comes before 3/6. So it is a very useful tool. And you're going to use this when we start adding numbers too, because we're going to have fractions that have uncommon denominators or different denominators when we add them, and we're going to have to find these common denominators. Let's do another one. You can pause it, do whatever you got to do to move around. I have 1/4 and I have 1/2. Now I want to see which one's bigger. Most of you guys are going to look at me and say, Mr. Lindy, this is a little simple. I have 1/4. All I know is that I break a candy bar into four pieces, and I only get one of them, or if I can break a candy bar in half and I get one of the halves, I know I'd rather have the half. Okay, but let's look at it in terms of finding a common denominator. So first, make our lists, 2 and 4. All I know is 2, and I count by 4. Oh, I'm already done. It's a 4 here and a 4 here. I know that I have to change them to a 4. The 1/4 is going to stay the same. I don't have to do anything because all I did was multiply by 1. But the 1/2 over here, I had to multiply by 2, and then I had to multiply by 2 up here. So I get 4, and I have 2/4. So you know that 2/4 is equal to 1/2, and then you say, okay, 1/2 is definitely bigger than 1/4. Now that's one way. Now it does get a little trickier. What if I put in 3 numbers? 1/2, 1/3, and 1/4. Now you're going to say, oh, Mr. Liddy, I don't know. If I know my multiplication facts, you're usually pretty safe here. But I still like to make a list just to show you that I understand what's going on. I'm going to make my list. 2, 3s, and 4s. So we're going to go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I'm going to count by 3s. 3, 6, 9, 12. I got 2 that match at 12. And I have one that matches at 6 right there. But does 4 go to 6? Let's see. 4, 8, no. But it does go to 12. And I have my answer right there. My common denominator for all of them is going to be 12. What that says is I am changing each fraction into a 12. The denominator has to change to a 12. Has to be a multiplication problem. So 2 times what equals 12? I say 6. 2 times 6 equals 12. So go up to the top, and if I multiply the denominator by 6, I have to multiply the numerator by 6. 1 times 6 is 6. So 1/2 turns into 6/12. Now, go over to the 1/3. All I know is 3 times something has to equal 12. 3 times 4 equals 12. So whatever I do the bottom, I have to do the top. So 1 times 4 is 4. And now, if you look, 1/3 also equals 4/12. And then finally, we have the 4. And 4 times something equals 12. I know it's 4 times 3. Whatever I do to the denominator, I have to do to the numerator. 1 times 3 equals 3. And you can see them right there. Now you have an order. 1/2 equals 6/12. 1/3 equals 4/12. 1/4 equals 3/12. If I were to put them in order, I'd look at this and I would say, okay, 1/4 is the smallest. 1/3 is the next. And then finally followed by 1/2. That's order from least to greatest. You could also say that 6/12 is greater than 4/12, which is greater than 3/12. So good luck with that, guys. We'll be doing a ton of this in the future while we're adding and subtracting fractions. So just let me know how you do, or if you understand it, we'll talk about it more tomorrow. All right, good luck, guys. Thanks again.